My name is Edia Zulfa, and right now I'm at PT Aero Nusantara Indonesia, and I'm with Mr. What's his name?
Otur Johannesson.
Okay, and where do you come from?
I come from Iceland.
Oh, okay. Yes, and today we're gonna talk about business, like that. And the first thing is, how long do you already here in Indonesia?
Oh, I've been here almost 10 years now.
Oh, it's quite long, yeah.
Yes.
And what do you think about business in Indonesia?
I think there's a lot of potential here. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
The middle class is growing a lot, so there's a lot to be done.
Yes. Okay. And what's the difference between business in Indonesia at your country?
I would say the size of everything. We're only 330,000 people in
Yes.
Iceland, so here you have about 260 million.
It's so big.
So it's much bigger.
Yes. Okay. And what's the advantage and the deficiency you think about business in Indonesia?
The advantage is that it's many people, you know, you can, if you find something that's needed or there's a niche for it, then you can be good.
Yes.
The disadvantages must be the bureaucracy, the custom issues,
Okay.
and the corruption.
Oh, I understand. Yes. And what is the most potential thing in Indonesia?
The most
Potential thing.
I think that in business-wise, you mean?
Yes,
Like
in business.
What you can do.
Yes, in business. What it?
I think there's a lot to be done in garbage and renewable energy.
Yes.
I think that's going to be a big thing here when the government starts to invest in like trash collection, renewable energy sources. So I think that's going to be a big thing here.
Okay, I understand. And based on your opinion, so you've been here for 10 years. In your opinion, well, what kind of Indonesian business that can be developed in your country?
In my country,
Yes.
that I could take from here and move.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I recently started to use the Gojek application in the Halodoc, yeah. But the problem is that it would never work in Iceland because it would be too expensive for the Gojek. Because in Iceland, for example, you know, just having a motorcycle, you have a minimum wage, you have to pay the tax, you know. But like the Halodoc, it's very nice. You can just order medicine online. So, you know, that's brilliant. But I don't know how if it would work on the same, you know. There are so many people here and you can do it like much more cheaper, you know, because there are so many that do it. But to have someone in Iceland, they would never, you know, just the fuel price is too much.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Then there are things that you can probably produce here.
Yes. For
But,
example.
I mean, we have a lot of, you know, garments, fabric that you do
Yes,
here. You do all kinds of shoes and stuff, you know, here. But again, moving it to Iceland, we are about tourism and fish.
Yes.
That's what we.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing that we have.
Okay. And then, what kind of Iceland business that you think it will be fit in Indonesia?
Okay, I've been thinking about this before. I would like to, you know, maybe bakery that I could bring from
okay.
Iceland, or like there's like a sandwich place, but
Okay.
it's different though, the culture. Like, you know, here you can go to Burger King and you can buy fried chicken.
Yes.
You don't do that in Iceland.
Oh,
Burger King is Burger King, KFC is KFC. You know?
Okay, I understand.
And then you know, bread. We like bread a lot.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like it's too popular here, so maybe I
Yes.
don't. Like Subway, you have
I know
one
Subway,
place or
yeah.
something. It
Yes,
doesn't
there's-
seem to be
yeah.
too popular here.
Yes.
Quiznos, there is in Lipov,
Yes.
but it's expensive compared to other things. So yeah, so I don't know from Iceland, but it may be something to do with food, yeah.
Yes. The food's okay.
Bakery or, you know, yeah.
And what's your reaction when you hear and you find very hard about bread and what you find is rice? What's your reaction like that?
About rice.
Yes. It's hard to find bread here, right? like you say before.
Yeah. So yes, there's rice with everything. Even
Yes.
in the breakfast,
Yes.
you have rice. That's very strange to me.
Okay, that's very strange.
Rice in the morning the rice is like in the evening, you know, maybe at lunch, but
Oh, okay,
in the evening. But I
but not
don't eat
in-
rice every day.
Okay.
When I go to Iceland, sometimes now I don't eat rice for 1 month. Just potatoes, pasta,
Yeah.
and I
Okay.
don't have to have rice with it.
Okay. Okay, I understand. And what's your suggestion to make business in Indonesia become better than the other countries?
I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of good things here, and the business is good. You mean talk for in general, or?
Yes, in general, like what should we improve?
I would say, I don't know. There needs to be a lot of done in infrastructure here. Yeah.
Oh, infrastructure, yes.
That's difficult. Infrastructure, and then also, and I guess that's like in supermarkets.
Okay.
Sometimes you can't find tuna fish.
Ah.
You know, where is the tuna?
Yeah.
And they say supply problems.
Yes.
So there's a lot of I don't know, the supply chain seems to be very sometimes you get stuck somewhere.
Yes,
and
I
it
understand.
doesn't come. Sometimes you have.
Sometimes not.
It's not like mango. Yeah, there's a season, but for tuna there's always cans available. Right?
Okay. Like that. And next, based on your opinion, which one is better, business in Indonesia or in Iceland?
Ooh, so different things. Here you can do much more with much less, and you can reach a much bigger audience. A much bigger group. Yeah. In
Yes.
Iceland it's so small that it's difficult. It's expensive and few. So here you could do it maybe less costly and become bigger. Like for example Gojek. It's an app you give people, and then they it starts to become a big thing here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of money involved, and many people are Gojek drivers.
Yes.
But in Iceland, you can maybe there's so few. It would be like 5 Gojek drivers.
Okay. It's because of personally. And so far as you live here in Indonesia, what do you like about Indonesia?
Well, I like the climate, of course. The food is took me a time to get used to the food because of all the spices and
Yes.
the gorengan and nasi with everything. But it's good. I mean, the people are very friendly, and I guess you just have to live with the traffic, yeah.
Yes,
But if you want to
the
go
traffic.
somewhere, you can always find something to do, for sure, yeah. There's a lot of things to do here. It just it takes time.
Yes, it takes time. Okay, easy. And the last one, from the thing that you like in Indonesia here, is there any something that can be used as a potential thing? From what you like in Indonesia?
To be used here or
To be used here.
here? What do you mean?
You mentioned that there's things that you like in Indonesia, and do you think that on that you mentioned it before, that can be used as a potential thing to be more developed here?
Okay. Yeah. Yes, for sure. I mean, tourism, for example. I think before I came here, and even today, if you say to people you're going to go to Indonesia, people will be like, okay. But if you say I'm going to go to Bali, Bali.
Yeah, Bali.
And then they say, is that in Indonesia? And you say yes. Because no one really knows. I mean, Indonesia, Jakarta, okay, people have heard, but they don't connect Bali and Indonesia, I find, And it's also difficult, if you want more tourism here. If you imagine a tourist landing in Jakarta, it's like, it's very difficult, where to go, what to do.
Yes,
and
I
just to go to
understand.
Ancol, it's difficult to drive, yeah?
Yes, it's traffic.
Traffic, so I think that the tourism for sure could be improved. I mean, there could be much more.
Okay.
Iceland is a country of 330,000 people, and we take in about more than 1 million tourists. That's 3 times our population. Can you imagine if Indonesia with 260 million, you could do like 600, 700, 800 million tourists, but you're aiming for, 12, 15? I don't know, something like that.
Yes.
So tourism could be much bigger. not only Bali.
Okay. Understand.
But Bali is nice. I like Bali.
Have you been to Bali before?
Yes, I've been to Bali a couple of times, and Lombok also.
Oh, Lombok. Okay.
So, it was very nice.
Okay. So I think that's it. The question.
All
I
right.
think it's okay.
Yeah.
And thank you for your time. I'm sorry for bothering you.
No problem. No problem. I have time.
Good evening. I'm Edia Zulfa Nurul Izzah, and now I'm with.
My name is Christo Maritz.
Okay. And where do you come from?
I'm from Cape Town, South Africa.
Okay. And what do you do actually here?
I'm a brand consultant
Oh, okay.
and I do branding and marketing, and I work with Matahari department.
Ah, I see. Okay. And how long have you been here in Indonesia?
I actually visit Indonesia,
Okay.
and I visit a few times a year
Okay.
for a week.
Okay, just for a week. Okay, let's just get into the question.
Yeah.
I guess. What do you think about business in Indonesia?
So far, I think that the business is very good.
Okay.
I think that it's good because people work hard and they like to try new things.
Yes.
Even if it sometimes fail, they would try again and then they succeed.
Yeah.
So they're not scared to do new business.
Okay. And what do you think about the difference between business in Indonesia and in the Cape Town, in your opinion?
I think Cape Town, the business environment is much more difficult.
Okay.
So it's difficult to employ people
Oh.
and find people, and also it's a lot more strict. Indonesia, I feel, from what I can see, is that there's a lot more people that are available to work. So it's easier to get people to help you to do things,
Yes.
and also people work very well together in
Ah,
Indonesia.
in teamwork. Okay. And what do you think? What is the most potential thing in Indonesia that maybe you can bring it to your hometown and develop there?
I probably think the culture,
Culture.
the
Okay.
working culture, because the culture in Indonesia is a lot more warm
Warm. Okay.
and a lot more collaborative and friendly.
Friendly.
So I think from a business perspective, and as I said earlier, to try new things, entrepreneurial culture.
Okay. And based on your own opinion, what is more better in business in your country or in Indonesia? Based on your opinion.
It's a difficult question to answer. So I think if you want to start a new business
Okay.
and you have a good idea, I think it's easier in Indonesia. But the thing about South Africa is that there's more formality sometimes.
Oh,
So it's sometimes if you're getting better in your business, there's more professional people that can easily mentor you and help you. But that's my opinion. I actually can't give.
what kind of business in your country that can be developed in Indonesia? In South Africa that you think that can be developed in Indonesia?
I guess there's not a lot of businesses that we're doing there that you're not doing here.
Yeah.
It's very similar. I think maybe there's things like tourism industry
Tourism.
that Indonesia can improve. Maybe not in the tourist centers, but generally.
Yes.
And then the other thing is what we call public spaces.
Yes.
So be aware of what public space is like for the people that are using it.
Okay.
I found that that's quite a big difference in the opportunity of architectural design of public spaces and buildings, so that it's more people friendly.
Okay. And you just visit Indonesia for a few weeks, right?
Yeah.
And what do you like about Indonesia?
Okay, I like the people.
You
a
like the
lot,
people,
yes, you know
okay.
that. I like the food
The food.
as well. I like the weather because where I come from, it's either very cold or very hot.
Yes.
And the weather, I like that. But I think what I probably like is that everybody is quite positive about the country, and they love the country. They're
Okay.
patriotic about the company, the country. Where South Africa has got quite a mixed past, so it's got so people are not so sure about what they think of the country.
Okay.
There's corruption, so it's difficult to be proud if there's corruption.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
Okay. In order to that, what things that you don't like from Indonesia? So I'm asking you about what you like. Now I'm asking you about what you don't
What
like.
I don't like, the sidewalks that I walk on. It's always up and down, and it's. What also don't I like? I guess sometimes the weather, because it's always the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's boring. I know
Yeah.
it's boring.
And I guess also you hear this probably always, but I think the traffic is difficult.
Yes.
And it kind of has a big impact on people,
Yeah.
how they feel and where the business is working.
Yeah.
So if you can get quickly to Jakarta now,
Yeah.
it would make a big difference to
Yeah.
your life. But people just think, oh, traffic.
Okay. And from the things that you mentioned it before, like what you like about Indonesia, what do you see? Is there any something that Indonesia can develop on to do the business? To like you like the weather, you like the people. Maybe from that, do you think there's something that can be developed to be a business? Something new in Indonesia.
Something new?
Yes,
For another country or in Indonesia?
in Indonesia.
Indonesia. I don't know if it exists,
Yeah.
but I do think that Indonesia is a good place to have networks,
Network.
international networks.
Yeah.
So make it easier for other unknown countries to connect with Indonesia.
Okay.
Because if I take South Africa, it's quite difficult for us to connect with Europe because
Oh, yeah, yeah.
they're quite close. But we try, but we don't try necessarily the same way with Indonesia.
Okay.
So I think there's a lot of opportunities to build networks with Indonesia and other developing countries in a business environment,
Yeah.
so that there's a lot we can learn, we can exchange. I think it happens well within Asia,
Yeah.
but not between Southeast Asia and Africa.
Yeah.
We need a better connection. Because Africa is trapped in between Asia and America.
Okay.
And we don't want to go to Europe and America.
I see. Okay. And what's your suggestion to make Indonesian business to be more increasingly to a good thing?
For them to be more successful.
Yes, to be more successful.
I think sometimes they are impatient, so they try to do things too quickly.
Okay, I see.
So it's good to try things, but sometimes they don't think it through long enough. So they just
Okay.
try it and
Yes.
then let's start an online business, or let's start a restaurant, or let's start.
Okay.
Sometimes I would recommend they think it through a little bit longer before.
Okay.
It's a good thing, but it's also bad.
Okay. Okay. It's enough.
Does it
Okay.
make sense? What I'm
Yes.
saying?
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. I'm
Okay.
sorry for bothering your time. Maybe. You guys already watched my interviews, and at this part, I will review what they are saying, what they are actually want us to know, the point of the interview, like that. And let's start from the first one. It's from Mr. Aladur. He said that Indonesia has a potential at the tourism. Of course, as we know that Indonesia is an archipelago country, we have so many islands, we have so many language, we have so many culture, we have various foods from various spices and herbs like that, and that is impress them. Like the foreigners like it, like they go to Indonesia just for that. And I'm sure that if we maximize on that point, on that tourism, we can improve our state revenue. And also, Mr. Oladur really loves our innovation at services. For example, Gojek and Halodoc. He really loves that innovation, and so do I. I think it's a brilliant invention. seriously, like you can just order medicine, like you get sick at that time and you just order that by your phone and they go to you. Not only that, you can just order foods or transportation like that. It's as simple as that on your phone. Can you imagine that? And from Mr. Moritz, he said that we should be patient if we want to make a successful business. The successful business not come to us just like that easily. We have to face many problems like failure, obstacles, or like that. It's the journey of your business. Face it, and in fact, problems makes us stronger, isn't it? And by facing a problem, you can solve that easily. Like if you find the same problem, you can solve it easily, and that makes you more professional businessman. For you, if you want to make a business, successful business, don't forget to fail. Face the failure, face the problem, and just get up, think about something new, think about what people need, and be patient. Thank you for watching my interview. I hope it can be helpful for you who want to start a new business in our young age or golden age. Goodbye.